The week had drained me completely. Work had swallowed every ounce of my energy, leaving little space for anything else. Even the weekends, which should have been a respite, blurred into a haze of errands, chores, and endless attempts to catch up on sleep that never seemed to come. Jessica, my wife, had grown distant lately. I tried to convince myself it was just the stress weighing on her, but deep down I knew something was wrong. Tonight, however, felt different. We had planned a proper evening together, a quiet dinner, a glass of wine, maybe even a movie, to reconnect. Nights like this had become rare and I was desperate for one. When I walked in, exhausted but hopeful, Jessica greeted me with a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. "Hey Han," she said softly, almost detached. "I'm not really up for anything tonight. Maybe later." Her words hit harder than I expected. I felt the distance between us more acutely than ever. All I wanted was to feel close to her again, to hold her, to remind her, and myself, of the love we once shared. I forced a nod and a casual tone. "No problem. We can just stay in tonight." She smiled, but there was a strange edge to it, and when she added, "I'll be in the other room," it felt like she was already somewhere else, both in body and mind. I tried to settle into the evening, but the house felt unnaturally quiet. Flipping through TV channels offered no comfort, nothing seemed to belong. After a while, the faint sound of footsteps in the hallway made me glance up. It was Kelly, Jessica's twin sister. Kelly had always been a vivid contrast to Jessica. Spontaneous, daring, with an easy charm that lit up a room. She had always been fun, the one to bring laughter and energy wherever she went. Tonight, however, there was a subtle shift. She stood in the doorway, her usual warmth present, but her eyes held something else, a glimmer I couldn't place. "Hey David," she said, her voice calm but different somehow. "How's it going?" "Good. Just passing the time," I replied, trying to stay composed. "Jessica's not really up for anything tonight." Kelly's smile lingered, her gaze holding mine longer than normal. She stepped closer, sitting beside me on the couch. "Mind if I hang out for a bit?" she asked. There was something about her presence tonight, something heavy, almost magnetic. I forced a smile. "Sure. It's been a while since we just talked." Our conversation began casually, drifting over trivial matters, small talk filling the uneasy silence. But slowly the atmosphere changed. Her tone softened, her proximity felt more deliberate. "You know," Kelly murmured, leaning just a little closer, "I always admired how you and Jessica were together. You two seemed so in love." I blinked, unsure where she was going with this. "Thanks. I still love her. I don't know what's happening with us lately." Kelly nodded, studying me as if she could peer into the cracks I kept hidden. "I get it. People change. Relationships change. But sometimes, maybe a spark just needs a little nudge." A chill ran through me. Her words, her gaze, they carried a dangerous suggestion. "You're not saying," I started, but my voice faltered. She smiled, but it wasn't her playful, teasing smile. "I'm just saying, sometimes you can't wait for things to fix themselves. Sometimes you have to make them happen." Before I could respond, a soft voice came from the other room. "What are you two talking about?" Jessica stood in the doorway. Her eyes flicked between Kelly and me, calm but unreadable. No anger, no confrontation, just a strange, quiet intensity. "Just keeping David company," Kelly replied easily, as though she hadn't just spoken words that made my heart pound. Jessica said nothing, paused briefly, and then walked back into the other room, her footsteps deliberate but soft. I turned to Kelly, my mind spinning. Her gaze was locked on me, and this time there was no mistaking it. She leaned closer. "You deserve to feel wanted, David, don't you?" My chest tightened. Everything in me screamed to stop, to turn away. And yet there was something tempting, thrilling even, in her closeness. "If Jessica won't give you what you need, maybe I will," she whispered. The room seemed to shrink around me. The thought of crossing that line, of being drawn to Jessica's own sister, was dizzying, forbidden. And yet the temptation felt real, dangerous, and impossible to ignore. I knew deep down that giving in would shatter everything, our love, our family, everything I thought I understood about loyalty.